Okay, what a year. And it's only February, but we've already got some crazy, crazy stuff when it comes to AI. And I think one thing that a lot of people will agree on is that Claude Cowork is probably in the top three productivity increase tools that we've received, right? Aside from a couple of others, I think Claude Cowork is definitely up there. Now, the thing is, a lot of people aren't actually aware of the amount of things that Claude Cowork can do for you. So let's get into it. So from the start, all right. So from the very beginning, if you don't have the desktop version of Claude, you need to get that. So the way to get that is you're simply just gonna Google Claude desktop install, and there's a lot of ways to do it. However you want to go about it, it doesn't really matter. Go to the website of Download Claude and pick the platform you're on. So Mac, Windows, whichever one you're using. So personally, I'm on Mac. So you click that, it will start the download right there. And after that, you have to just drag it into applications and sign in with your Claude account. So I'll let that finish, although I already have it, so I don't really need to. But basically, once you're done, you will open up Claude, and it will pretty much just be this blank screen right here that we have. And this is the best place to start because it's right off the bat, it's just a chat interface, which you're probably already used to if you've been using the web version. Okay? All right, perfect. So now you have everything installed, you have Claude set up, you downloaded it, and you open it, and you're in the CLI right now. All right, the next thing you need to do is navigate to the Cowork interface, which is done by simply clicking on Cowork right up here. And that will take you to this page. And if you toggle the sidebar, you'll be able to see your recents. Now, maybe you have a bunch, maybe you have none, whichever way, it doesn't really particularly matter because we're going to go into how to actually get started. So what you want to do is you don't ever want to give Claude access to your entire laptop and your entire computer. You want to create a specific folder where Claude can have that as its operating space. So you can see I have a folder called Claude Cowork. So I'll make another one. So for example, if I press this plus, and you can see we have plugins, connectors, and project and add files or photos. But for now, we're going to just stick to work in a folder. So you can press choose a folder, and like let's say you don't have a Claude Cowork, you just right click and you can make a new folder, and I'll just call this Claude underscore Cowork, and I'll call it underscore YouTube just so I know which it is, and press open. And then you want to click always allow so it doesn't have to keep asking you for permission. And the reason we can click always allow is because we've given it very, very specific folder, meaning that we have not given it access to the rest of our computer. So whatever happens in this folder, we're completely okay with Claude taking charge of everything that goes in and out of this folder. So you can name the folder whatever you want to name it. It doesn't really matter, or whatever it is. I just like it that way so that I actually am aware of what the folder is for. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is talk about how to actually prompt Claude Cowork correctly. So the formula is what files, what to do, what output you want, and any rules. So the thing is right now in this folder, I obviously don't have anything in there. Right, this folder currently is empty. So in order to test it out, I'm gonna drag and drop some stuff in here so we can see how it works. So let's say this is the real folder you have, and as you can see, it's just a bunch of mixed up stuff. There's some Python files, there's some images, there's some PDFs, and there's some random screenshots. Okay, so since this is the formula, what I'm gonna say is the folder contains PDFs. I need you to create subfolders inside to organize the files. Okay, so I'm gonna send that. While it does that, it's the perfect chance I have to take you through how to deal with these things over here. Now this is the plan that Claude made, and so you can ask questions and you can change things and whatever, however it is you want to go about it, you can change things in the plan over there. So as you can see, your folder is now neatly organized into 6 subfolders. All right, let's have a look at that. Yeah, there, as you can see, it's created the folders and it's organized everything by the type that I told it to, right? Now, let's say in your case, maybe you are a business and you have like receipts, right? You have receipts in there. Then a good way for you to use this feature would be, for example, you could say, read all the receipt images in this folder, extract vendor name, date, and amount from each one, create an Excel spreadsheet with those columns, sort by date, and rename each receipt file to the format year, month, and date, vendor name. Like you can do this and it can actually go about it and it can do that for you. Let's move to plugins. Plugins allow you to add skills to Claude. You can give it domain expertise, right? Just by adding a plugin and then you use the slash command to call the plugin. So you can see here, for example, I have only this productivity one, which is one of the ones I think that everyone should install because it's a very basic one. It's very easy to use. So go here and then go to add plugin and press browse plugins. This will take you to the marketplace. In the marketplace, you have all these. So you notice that I don't have one called productivity because this one I can install, this one I can manage because I already have this one installed. So you can pick any of these really, like marketing, create content, plan campaigns. And so like if I install this marketing one, it says marketing is installed and ready to use. So all I can do is close this out and you can see marketing has now been added here. So if I click on marketing, use these shortcuts. So you got brand review. If I click on this, this is what's going to happen when I do slash brand review. We have campaign plan, we have competitive brief, we have draft content, email sequence. If you see unfamiliar placeholders, check which tools are connected to see the connectors.md file. I'll show you how to find that file. And you can see it's like you get like out of the box, you get so much stuff. Okay, you get so much stuff. Now if you go click on skills, here's where you actually get access to what's the method behind how they're going to do it. So if we look at content creation, blog post structure, email newsletter structure, social media post structure, okay, writing best practices by channel. Now you can see it has here web pages, right? Landing pages and product pages. It has email, it has a blog. So it has all this stuff. So now let me show you how we can use it. So now that I have marketing, and you can see I have slash email sequence performance report. You can also teach Claude things like this. So here's where you can actually modify your MD files. So if I go click on brand voice, for example, I can go click on edit and you can customize it with Claude. So you press that and it'll just do this here. And then you can just simply explain to it what you want it to change. Or if you have a IDE, you can press edit and you can press show in folder and it'll show you brand voice skill.md. Now I can open this with, let's say, anti-gravity, which is an IDE. Now if I bring that here, this is that markdown. So I can change anything I want in here, and that will reflect in here, and Claude will be changed by that. Okay, so you can make those changes if you feel like this, like you want to be more specific about certain things that Claude has information about you. Okay, so for example, let's look at email sequence, right? So I'll go back here. I'm going to go back to this folder. Okay, it says the Cowork guide plus SEGP report. So I'm going to say I want email sequence. So we're using the hash command, right? Based on the Cowork guide. All right, so I'll send that. And the Cowork guide is part of the folders that it has access to, right? And it's just named the Cowork guide. I made a file called the Cowork guide. It doesn't actually have to be called that. So if I look at PDFs, here we have how to use Claude Code. It's a PDF I made a couple of days ago. I made it actually yesterday for LinkedIn, and it's basically an entire PDF on how to get started and get ready to use Claude Code and set up the whole thing from start to finish. And so I've told it to use that to make the email sequence. Okay, so you can see its instructions are empty right now, but it has certain things about this that it can use. So what type of email sequence is this for? I'm going to say lead nurturing. Who the primary audience is small business owners. Get them to complete setup, drive their first real task, get them to install plugins, convert to a paid plan. I'm going to say trust me so that they may one day hire me, right? Become my clients as I sell AI implementation and automation services. Services. Okay, so we'll send that off. Cool. Now, while it's doing that, let's talk about how to modify Claude's instructions. So if you click on this, so what you can do here is I would tell it about me, right? I would tell it stuff about who I am and what I use Claude for and what's the point of Cowork for me. And Claude will read this. It will always read the folder instructions before it does anything. So, for example, we could say like something like this, like I'm a freelance marketing consultant, I write for our B2B SaaS clients, always use UK English output documents as Word files unless asked otherwise. When creating spreadsheets, always this, never delete files, move to an archive subfolder instead. The folder you are working on contains the marketing assets for all of my campaigns. Some are half finished, some are to be converted to other assets, e.g., PDFs to email sequences, right? Now, if I'll press save. Okay. Now, Claude will always read this before it takes any action within the folder. Okay. So I know we moved pretty pretty quickly, but if you look at what you've covered so far in the last 15 minutes, you managed to get Claude Cowork, you managed to give it access to a specific folder, you managed to install a plugin specific for your use case made by Claude itself to edit it if necessary so that it sounds more appealing to you and is more useful to you because the whole point is to save time. You managed to give it your custom instructions for the folder. And now the last thing that I'm going to show you how to do is add connectors. So connectors give it like this other level of productivity power because think about it. Let's say you use Notion or Slack or Asana or N8N or any of these things. Now you can connect Claude to those platforms, which honestly is really crazy to think about. Okay, I'm gonna first let this finish up so you guys can see what this looks like. And while we do that, let's look at the. So I have productivity and I have marketing, which you've seen those two. Now notice how this one says local. This is a custom plugin that I made. Okay, you can make custom plugins for Claude. Right now, Claude can do many things. But one thing that I noticed that I needed to do repeatedly with Claude was create marketing guides, right? Like that this Cowork guide was made by Claude, right? It was made by Claude because I created this make guide shortcut. Now you can see if I click this, it says read the image setup skill guide before proceeding, and then I have to give it a folder name with arguments. Now if you look at the skills, what does it have? The markdown file, right? Very short, very concise, very easy to read, but it wasn't even made by me. None of this was actually made by me. I told Claude, okay, so you can see if I go back here, I told Claude that the folder contains multiple files. I need you to do this, whatever. It did that. And then I said there is a new folder, and it was called Claude Cowork Lead Magnet. And I said, turn that into a PDF where each image represents a step in the process of setting up Claude Cowork, and here is the context. And I just gave it the context of what the PDF was about. And it did it. I said, can you make it more verbose and add captions? It did that. And then I said, can we make this a repeatable thing, perhaps a skill or something, so I can enter a slash command and the name of the folder. Now it's custom made it, and it gives it to you like this. All you click is save plugin. You click save plugin, and all of a sudden you have your own custom command. Now that means that this command, right? This command of what was it, guide? What was it? Make guide. This make guide doesn't exist on anybody else's Claude except mine, and all I have to do is give it a folder name and it will do exactly as I wanted it to do. So you can create custom plugins for Claude. Like, it's a different level of, like, productivity is so different now because of this kind of stuff. Okay, look. So here we have the AI nurture email sequence. AI implementation services, small business prospects. Sequence overview, day 0. A tool that does your life work for you. Gift, deliver value, introduce Aris. I'm Aris. Download the guide, all subscribers. Day 2, day 3. Full sequence, narrative arc, email 1, email 4. Going in depth now into email 1. We got the copy. Oh my God. Wow. And it made this from one, I gave it one PDF. Can you imagine if you actually upload as the folder you give it, you actually upload your entire marketing, all of your assets and your entire marketing campaign here, and then use the marketing plugin, this one, and you can do all these things on all of your real assets, and you can go further and even change what's written as Claude to what Claude reads so that it can be more specific to you. Like, you can do some insane stuff with this. All right, the last thing I want to show you guys is once you go to plugins and you go to connectors, you can see you have connectors here. Now, if you press edit, all that happens is like you will get access to your connectors over there. As you can see, this one is only custom connectors that I have because I don't have any of these. Right? So like we have Notion, Asana. Now if you click on, for example, you click on Notion, you can click on connect and it will open up in your browser like this. And let's say I choose this and I'll press continue. All right, now it's taken me back to Claude. And you can see now if I click on this, it says Notion has been enabled. We have read-only tools. All right, so you can always allow read, and then you have write tools, which is the ability for it to create and delete and move stuff around, basically interacting with your content, and you have this on needs approval. It's completely up to you however you want to do it. Now, if, for example, like let's say I click on install here, and I don't want to do this one, when you click back, you get access to a bunch more. So you have all of these potential things you could connect to. I'm somebody who uses N8N, and if you're on N8N and you have like Docker and you're able to host it by yourself, or if you're even on cloud, you can go ahead. There's an N8N access and run. You can trigger your instances from within Claude. It's insane what you can do with this stuff. You got Canva, Gamma, Vercel. Oh my God, there's Hugging Face as well. It's so much. It's crazy the kind of things that you can do with Claude Cowork. Now, if you like this video, we've covered a lot, and like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there is a full guide on how to actually get started on Claude Cowork from start to finish. This is in the description if you don't want to rewatch the video, you missed a part. This entire PDF with all the screenshots and all of the text is in the description for you to look at. Anyways, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this from just being a basic assistant. Right now, it's a very basic assistant. It can do some stuff. and we're gonna turn it into $100,000 per year assistant. Like if you were gonna hire somebody and pay them $100,000 a year, what exactly would you think that they should do for you? No, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. But that's the whole point. I'll tell you how to write a comprehensive Claude instruction file so that you can give it everything you need to give it about you, like your standards, your clients, things you hate doing, what's your tech stack, how do you work, what's your business, who are you, right? All of that, we'll put that in there. Then we'll go into how to build a department. So plugins, and you can assign a plugin. So you have a marketing plugin, you have a plugin for client onboarding, a weekly report one, a proposal one, an invoice chase one, a content repurpose one, and then we'll connect it to N8N. And I'll show you how to set up N8N via an MCP so you can actually build your first automated pipeline using Claude and N8N so you can actually get any kind of workflow that you can imagine, make it fully automated for you. We'll go into how to get a content pipeline and the processing pipeline all through Claude, how to create your library of ongoing skills so you can keep upskilling Claude so it gets better with you as you use it every day as your personal assistant. And then at the end of all that, we'll talk about how to actually manage to push an entire business function directly into Claude so it can run it hands-free, so you won't have to. Wow. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.